Good morning, family. Man, it's about 3 something Sunday morning. Um, I woke up and it's like, man, I gotta make this video. I have to make this video. Um, First and foremost, it's been brought to my attention that there's somebody posing as me. They have my name, ElijahAmmi. They have my picture, and they're commenting on some of your stuff. And then they're going on to some stupid crap in regards to I feel your. It's them saying that I feel something bad happening around you, and um, all this negative, stupid stuff, and to send them some money or to send some money through to some orphanage in Nigeria or somewhere else. Family, first and foremost, man, if I if I comment on your thing, on your comment, and you want to make sure that it's me, please click on it, because when you click on that this person's thing, the picture there, to see whether it's me or not. They don't have any subscribers. They don't have any content. I've been doing this for a while. I have me. I have almost 600 videos that I've uploaded. Okay, we have almost 14,000 subscribers. Okay, so if someone comments on something and it says it's coming from me, family, please verify it. Okay, unfortunately, we live in a society where there's a bunch of ignorant stuff going on. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of negativity. There's a bunch of people trying to get over. There's a bunch of people trying to fleece people out of money. There's a bunch of people trying to steal what you gained, steal what you've earned, steal what you have. It is what it is. It's the sad reality that we live in. It's the sad shape of the world events to where somebody or a group of people will use somebody else's name to try to get over, to try to get something out of them. Okay? I'm never, ever gonna sit there and tell you I feel this certain stuff going on around you, and man, I feel like somebody's attacking you, and man, I'm never gonna say that stupid stuff. I'm never gonna say that stuff, ever. I'm never gonna ask you to send money to some orphanage. Not that I don't love kids, I enjoy kids. You know what I mean? But I'm never gonna ask you to send money to an orphanage, especially in another country. One of the problems that I have with America is that we don't take care of our own. Not that the rest of the world ain't important, but America, we have to learn to take care of America first and foremost. You know what I mean? I'm not into politics and any other stuff, but how the hell can you go take care of something else and you ain't even take care of your own? That's just my mentality. You know what I mean? If you can't take care of home, how can you go take care of somebody else? It is what it is. You know what I mean? But please be aware. A few of you brought that to my attention. Man, I thank you. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. I appreciate you reporting that. If you come across that or anything along those lines, and again, click on the person commenting to you. If they're saying they're me. And if they ain't got no subscribers, if they ain't got almost 14,000 subscribers, you can see how many subscribers I have. It's constantly growing. You know what I mean? But you can verify. You know, you can see when you're watching the video how many subscribers I have. You know what I mean? And so if you click on the person commenting, and they ain't got the same amount of subscribers, you know there's something wrong. You know there's a problem with that. You know what I mean? You know that I put out a lot of videos. You know what I mean, family? I have almost 600 videos. If it says that there ain't no content, you know that's a problem, family. You're watching my video. You know what I mean? If you're watching the video, you know that there's at least one video. You know what I mean? But we have almost 580 something videos uploaded. So again, these are ways that you could verify. You know what I mean? Please, whatever you do, Don't send anybody any money like that. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm about. I appreciate you, all of you that have supported, all of you that do support. Man, in the descriptions, I show you how you can support this channel. You know what I mean? And if somebody's asking you to support the channel outside of the way that I've showed you in the descriptions, or not showed you, but outside of those means in the descriptions, it's a fraud. It's a fraud. Okay? It is what it is. It's the world we live in. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna stop anything. You know what I mean? It just means we got to go harder. You know what I mean? We got to love more. And again, love is always the answer. Love is always the answer. And so that just means I got to make more content. It means I just got to put more love out into the world. I don't allow the negativity and all the other ignorant stuff to stop me from doing what we came here to do. You shouldn't allow it to stop you either. Don't allow other people's drama, other people's issues, other people's ignorance to become your ignorance, to become your problem. Stay loving. Stay the person you are. And what I mean by that is we're always growing. We should always be growing. But don't become hardened because of life. Don't become callous because of somebody else's ignorance. Okay? That being said, I want to share a story with you guys. Sorry that was so long, but real life situation. Years ago, 2015, I was working on a book, and it was a book that my wife and I um, had been. I've been trying to get together. My wife was passing away from cancer, from breast cancer, and this was gonna be like my last hoorah with her. You know what I mean? She didn't write any of it. You know, it was all stuff that I had written, but it was gonna be from me and her. Words of wisdom, words of insight to the kids. You know what I mean? And I was working on it, and man, my goal was to complete it before she passed away. I got it completed like right after she passed away. In the process of writing it, um, I went to the library up in Three Rivers where I used to live, and I was there working on it. Um, this lady I had never seen before, have never seen since. She was working on her doctorate, and she asked me what was I working on, and I told her, and she looked at me, and she just started smiling, and we just started talking, just engaged in conversation. And so we sat there for about 5.5 hours, just talking. Me and this Hispanic lady. And at the end of the conversation, she told me, she said, "Don't get sick." She said, "Whatever you do, brother, don't get sick." And I looked at her and I'm like, my wife is dying from breast cancer. You know what I mean? I can't get her sickness. You know what I mean? I didn't understand what she was saying. And she said it again. "Whatever you do, don't get sick." And she told me to go to the Indian reservation and meet somebody. And she told me the name. And she called him JR. She said, "Go meet JR." Um, I used to sweat with JR. And on this reservation is Tule River Indian Reservation. Okay, and so I went up there to the reservation. I'm part Native American. I have Cherokee in me from my dad's side, and I have Blackfoot from my mom's side. And so I go to the reservation, and I go to the community center there, and I told them who I'm looking for. I never met him, but I was just directed to go talk to him. And so he comes down with a bunch of guys, and we talk for hours. Me and this Native American man, his long ponytail, and me and this dude just talked for so long. And he became my brother at that moment. He became my brother, my long lost big brother. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so, man, it didn't matter what conversation came on. There's always something deep, nothing ever superficial. You know what I mean? We didn't talk sports. We didn't talk politics. We didn't talk any of that stupid crap. You know what I mean? We did. We talked about life and just our experiences and just all this stuff, right? Spirituality and just all kinds of different stuff. And so from that point forward, then I would come to the reservation and I would sweat with the brothers and the sisters, right? The Native Americans there. And there would be a few other people that would come. And so I kept going up there weekly. And it was like an hour and a half drive from where I lived. But every week I was going up there. And just our relationship blossomed. You know what I mean? He introduced me to his daughters, his granddaughters, to his father, um, just great relationship. I was embraced as part of the family. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so at one point we had this Native American gathering, elders gathering, and all these tribes came onto the reservation for a weekend, and just a bunch of singing, a bunch of Indian dances, and just all kinds of stuff, right? And we would sweat during that time frame, and just a whole bunch of stuff took place for 3 days, right? And I had heard one of the guys talking to JR about a fast, an upcoming fast. And that piqued my interest, you know what I mean? And it's like, this is the reason why you're here. All this other stuff is great, but you're here for this fast. Stay with me. And so I'm listening to them talk about this fast, this 3-day fast on top of the mountain. And I know I'm supposed to go. I know I'm supposed to be there. And so later, I hit JR up about it. I said, hey, what was this thing about this fast, this 3-day fast? And so he's talking to me about it. I said, man, I want to do it. And he said, okay, sure. He said, you've shown me enough, and you've talked enough, and I know who you are. But come talk to me again next week. I said, okay, cool. So I go the next week to go talk to him. And part of the culture, when you, as a Native American, is to take a gift to your elders. You know what I mean? Every time you see them, you take them a gift. And so I brought some tobacco, so that we could put, and you could use it for as an offering, the regular tobacco, free leaf tobacco. Brought a big bag of it for him. And so we sat around the lodge and we chopped it up and just we'll talk about another 4 or 5 hours of what the fast consisted of and just everything, right? And he was taken back by the fact that I knew about the culture as far as bringing an offering and tobacco and the purpose of it and just all this other stuff. So we're sitting, we're just chopping it up. And he's explaining what the fast is, and everybody say they're committed to it. Everybody say they do it, and then most people start it, and then most people come running down the hill. Most people can't handle it. Most people don't go through it. Okay, because again, leading up to the fast, a whole bunch of stuff inside of life happens to keep you from going. People get sick, they get in major fights with their spouse, their girlfriend, whatever. Something always comes up to keep people from going. Okay? And so he asked me if I was committed. And I was like, I'm committed, I'm doing this. He said, okay. And he told me when the fast was going to be, to prepare myself. And the fast was going to be, we're talking, this was August 2015. Um, the fast was going to be April timeframe, March, April timeframe of the next year. Start getting my mind ready. I'm the type of person I fast from time to time. Fasting is nothing new to me. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going somewhere. And so we got to the event, and the event consisted of we were going to this teepee, like it's not a teepee, but it's almost like a teepee. I'm just using that so that you guys kind of understand. It's like a dome shape um, building, sweat lodge. And we sweated with the people. We had towel over our head. We couldn't say anything to anyone. Um, and before we went into that, we had to go up and collect our own wood, chop down branches, and to collect some fresh sage. And we took the branches and pulled off some of the vines, and we went and built our own little um, like tent, okay? And it's shaped just like the sweat lodge, like a little oval, like a turtle shell. And we put a thing over top of it to keep us from the elements, okay? It's gonna be kind of a long video, but stay with me, family. We're gonna go somewhere. And so we did that the day before, okay? And the morning of, I brought my stuff, and I was allowed to bring like change of clothes, um, a pillow, a blanket, or a sleeping bag, some sage that I could burn. And prior to the fast, he had given me some feathers, some hawk feathers, and one of the other brothers made a leather casing around the handle, so it's like you could hold it almost like a paper towel holder thing, and then it's like the feathers coming up on top and its tassels coming down. And so I brought that. I had a walking cane, an African cane that I brought with me, as well as a cane that JR's father had made for me. I brought that. And I wanted to bring those two different things because the cane that I had made in Africa from Ghana, it was going to represent all of my African ancestry. You know, I mean, stay with me. Different type of video, but stay with me. And the cane that I got from JR's father that he made for me represented all of my Native American ancestry. Again, I got Native American blood on both sides. My grandmother on my dad's side was Cherokee. My grandmother on my mom's side was Blackfoot. Okay, and so I take those things, put them in the tent, and so we go down for the sweat. I sweat with everybody. We're not allowed to sing or talk to anybody. But prior to the fast, I went on my own fast. You know what I mean? Preparing myself for this event because I knew it was going to be life changing. I knew that it was going to alter something about me. I'm going to a whole other level. Okay. And so prior to me going on this fast up here in the mountains, and it was supposed to be 7 of us going. Okay. It was supposed to be 7. Only 4 people showed up. I went on this fast. In the first 3 days, I didn't eat any solid foods. Okay. I just drank green stuff. Drank some carrot juice too. But it was all stuff that I grew in the garden. Okay. Greens, kale, cabbage, just all green stuff, all these different herbs and stuff. I juiced it, and that's what I drunk for 3 days. Nothing solid, okay? Just what I grew in the garden, fruits and vegetables. Just juiced them for 3 days, and then the next 4 days, I didn't eat anything, nothing. Okay, this was prepare. This was preparing me spiritually. You know, I'm doing my own fast prior to going on this 3 day fast. Okay? And so, excuse me, I stand corrected. The first 3 days, I cut out all breads, I cut out all starch, all carbs. Okay? Then the last 4 days was just the juices that I had in the garden. Okay? And then I went on this 3-day fast with them. So for 7 days, I'm on a fast, getting my mind right, getting my spirit right, you know. And so I'm in this dome shape. As soon as and the rules are, you can't come out of the tent once they close you up in the tent. Okay? And you're there for the whole night. Okay? You can't have no cell phone or no anything like that. You know what I mean? No laptop, no tab, none of that stuff with you. Okay? It's just you and God. Okay? It's just you and God. You can have your little sage to burn in there. You know, I have my little feathers that I got from JR. I have my canes, African ones from Native Americans. I had those canes there, and just a bag to change of clothes. Okay, and so once they close you in for the tent, you're stuck in there. You can't open it up and leave for any reasons. Okay, they'll come back in the morning. They'll open up the tent, make sure you're okay. You can step outside of the tent at that time. Okay, and you use the bathroom. You can't go nowhere. You go number one around the area if you need to, and that's it. You know what I mean? You had to stay right there. Those are the rules. Okay? So I'm inside this tent. It's nighttime. You can't see through the tent. It's a heavy canvas. All right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm just know that it's going to be great. It's going to be epic. You know what I mean? I know it's going to be epic. I fasted for this already a week before this fast. I've been prepared for this. Man, I got in so many fights with the young lady I was dating at the time. It was just, it was bad. You know what I mean? Everything that could happen to get me from showing up happened. Stay with me. And so I'm there at this fast, right? And the night that they put me at, I'm sitting there and I'm just like talking to God. My eyes are closed. I'm just sitting there talking to God. And family, what I'm about to tell you now was just events that transpired that just blew me away. You know what I mean? It blew me away. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I have my feathers in my hand. I have my canes on my lap, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just rocking back and forth, and I'm singing some songs in my head, you know, and I see these fireworks go off. It's like gold fireworks go off inside the tent. Okay, there's nobody there but me, but there's like these fireworks that go off, and I'm wide awake. I'm not hallucinating on anything. We don't do any of that. There's no shrooms, no ayahuasca, none of that stuff. Okay, I prepared myself for this for a week prior to getting here. Okay, I'm ready for whatever. You know what I mean? I'm ready. I've been waiting. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there, and I just hope I have my feathers, my hawk feathers in my hand, and I'm just, just singing in my head, and the fireworks are going off all around me inside the tent. Okay, and it's as though they're having a celebration. They're glad to see me. This is what I feel. Like, man, we're glad you're here. We're glad that you made it. You know what I mean? Stay with me. All of my ancestors, they're glad. They're celebrating the fact that I showed up. And so I'm sitting in this tent, and I feel the presence of somebody walking up. We're on the top of a mountain. There's nothing around us. We're on the Indian reservation, on top of a wooded mountain, okay? And there's 4 of us, but we're so far apart from each other, we can't see each other or talk to each other or anything, okay? And it's nighttime. We just fasted. There's nothing up here, you know what I mean? And I feel the presence of this being walking up to this tent where I'm at. And they walk around it, and they take this stick and they poke it through the tent to where my back is at, and they hit me in my back. And that's tripping me out, because it's like, how do you know where I'm sitting? How do you know which direction I'm facing? How do you know that I'm right here in this spot? You know what I mean? Stay with me. And then it comes inside the tent. It's like a spirit, right? It comes inside the tent. And it says, come with me. And I was like, I can't go with you. You know, the rule one. You know, I can't leave the tent. And I'm sitting there holding the feathers. It's like, no, I can't leave the tent. And it just grabs my arm, lifts me up, and says, come with me. And my spirit leaves my body. I'm sitting there holding the feathers. My spirit's coming up out of my body, and I'm looking back down on my body, still sitting there. Okay? And I'm tripping. And then, boom, we disappeared. We ended up in Georgia. My three younger kids lived in Georgia at the time with their mom. And we're behind her vehicle. And we're flying, just hovering, you know, behind her vehicle. So she's driving, and we're like behind her. Nobody could see us, but we could see everything going on. We can hear everything going on. Stay with me. And so I'm listening to my ex-wife at the time, not the one that was just passed away from cancer, previous wife. I'm listening to her just go in on the kids. She's just cussing and just being ignorant, you know, just loud and obnoxious. Just like, I felt so bad. And it's like, God, nobody should have to hear this. And this is what I'm saying. You know, this spirit guide is just right there with me. And I'm telling him, it, whatever. I'm telling it that, man, nobody should have to listen to this drama. Nobody should have to listen to this negativity. And gosh, I can't stand this. And man, and I tell her, it's like, no wonder my son tried to commit suicide. No one should have to listen to this crap. And then we disappear. Right? And so now it shifts to where I'm back in the woods, but not at that place. Totally different place. Totally different place. And this guide is saying, follow me. And so I'm trying to follow it and keep up with it. And everywhere it walked, they would take something red and put it on the ground or on the leaf of or plant or whatever. They mark something red, right? And that's the only way that I knew that they went that way. You know what I mean? I'm following his footprints. I'm following the crumbs that he's leaving behind. The crumbs is a little red spot or mark. And so going through the woods is like a jungle, right? And I look over to my left, and there's all these Native Americans, you know, and it's like they knew me, and they're all happy and waving and and just saying all kinds of stuff, right? And they're just greeting me, and they're all happy that I'm here, and they're telling me that they're happy that I'm here, and I can understand the language, you know what I mean? I'm speaking the language back to them. And they're speaking to me, and they're just so happy to see me. They're happy that I'm here. They're happy that I'm on this journey. Right? They're living their life. They got little babies and all this other stuff and Native American clothing, you know, the way they would dress way back in the day, like in the 1800s, 1700s, and beyond. You know what I mean? Not all this Americanized crap, right? And so they're all dressed the way that they would have been dressed. It's like nothing changes. Like I'm in a totally different dimension. You know what I mean? Time hasn't changed for these people, right? But they know me. Stay with me. And so they're pointing in the direction that I'm supposed to be going. You know, they're encouraging me, like, yeah, yeah. It's like they're watching me run my race. They're watching me live out my life, my journey. But it's like my journey's a race, and they're standing on the sidelines just cheering me on and just rooting for me and all this other stuff, right? And they're telling me, go this way, go this way, go this way, right? And so I'm seeing the little red spots and stuff that the guy left behind. So I come to this building. And it's not like a building that I've ever seen before. It's like some building from outer space, you know what I mean? But I see over the doorpost this red mark. It's like, that's where I'm supposed to go. And so I go inside this building, and it doesn't look anything that I've seen before. Like nothing American, nothing Western or anything of that nature, right? The structure of the building. And I walk inside, and there's all of this technology, just like super advanced technology, like screens just everywhere, right? And I'm like just tripping because it looks like a hospital, but it looks like it's something else too at the same time. And it's just all this stuff, right? And it's like, man, this is weird. This is different. You know what I mean? And so I'm walking in. I don't know why I'm there. And I walk up, and I see these two gurneys here, these two beds, right? And so I walk up to the bed, and I see this man laying on one, and I see my son, Elisha, laying on the other. And I look down to him, and I say, Elisha, get up, man. It's time to go home. And he opens up his eyes, and he sees me. His eyes get all big, and he gets this crazy big smile on his face. And it's like, hey, Dad, you know. And he gets up, and we start to walk out, and it ended, right? And so I'm like just tripping on that, right? Just tripping on that. And so, and I come back and I'm in the tent, right? And I'm like, man, that was crazy. Thank you for letting me see my kids and my son, and I'm glad he's good. And I hadn't heard anything about him being bad or in a bad place or anything of that nature, right? And so I'm like, okay, but I'm in this tent. I can't call nobody. Nobody knows I'm here. Nobody could get a hold of me, anything, right? Stay with me. And so it's a different type of video today. Okay, different type. Stay with me. And so we're sitting there, and I'm just singing and just going on, right? And so then my guy grabs me and says, "Come on, we're gonna go see Cecilia." And I'm like, "Okay," you know what I mean? And so we, boom, sky. And it's weird because I see all these like spirits coming down, right? But they're coming down like water drops. But they're souls. But they look like water drops. And like different color water drops, almost like Skittles, you know, Skittles just falling from the sky, right? But they were water drops, but they were souls. And I couldn't recognize Cecilia in any of them, right? But I could hear her voice, and I see all these people, all these souls, but I don't see Cecilia, but I hear her. As soon as I recognize this water drop coming down and it's her, then she changes into her physical being. And the guy just goes off, and we hug each other, and we're just smiling and just cheesing and just looking at each other. Again, this is April, April 1st of 2016. She had just passed away in December 4th, 2015. And so we're all hugging each other and just smiling, and I'm holding her tight, and it's like I'm never gonna let you go again, and just we're just flying around, just tripping, right? We go, and she's like, let me show you this, let me show you this, and we go to the sunset, right? And there's like two different suns, right? But the sunset was like purple, peach, orange, and it's just like all these beautiful colors, and it's like, man, I ain't never seen no sunset like this in America. You know, purple, man, that's crazy, and we're just tripping out, just getting caught up, right? And so then it ends. I have to come back, right? And so I'm back in the tent, and I'm smiling, just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, man. This is gonna be great. This is all day one, all night one. Man, this is great, great, great. Day two, I'm laying there in the tent, and man, I'm going in. I started out with this little prayer, and man, I'm speaking in tongues. I'm in this spiritual battle. Stay with me. I'm in this spiritual battle. I don't know what I'm wrestling with. I don't know who I'm fighting with, but I'm just going at it. We're just going at it, right? But I'm curled up in a fetal position, and I'm holding the feathers, and I got the canes on both sides of me, right? And I'm holding these feathers, and I'm just rolling back and forth, right? Just on the ground, just rolling back and forth, just speaking in this different language, just going at it, going in, and I'm engaged in this spiritual battle. Stay with me. As JR comes up and they open up the tent. I didn't even recognize them at first, because I'm just going in. I'm just, I'm going through something, right? And JR has somebody with him, but it didn't matter to me. I didn't even care. I'm just going in, just just speaking in this different language, just going. They sit on the outside of the tent, and I recognize them, and it's like I'm able to take this pause from this battle, and I'm curled up, and he was like, just go ahead and take care of what you got to take care of. And then again, the language comes, and it's just I'm just flowing, just speaking in tongues, just going in, just wrestling, dealing with some heavy stuff, right? And then finally it ends, right? And my body relaxes. And so GR comes to me and he takes his feathers and just goes down like this. He's praying the whole time. Him and this other young man, they're outside the tent praying for me, right? He asked me if I'm okay, and I'm like, yeah. And I just had this peace just come all over me once he took the feather and just, and I was just so relaxed. And he's like, man, and he's telling me, man, that would have made most people run down the hill. Most people would have gave up doing that. Most people would have quit doing that. And he's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And he's like, man, you're doing great. You're doing great. And so the next night, it's my second night, I'm laying there. I'm sitting there holding the feathers again. And so I feel like the ground shaking. First, I smell smoke. And I'm like, crap, I got to open up the tent to, excuse me. First, I feel the sensation I got to go pee, right? And they've already closed me in the tent. I can't open up the tent. And it's like, crap, I got to go pee. And so, and I'm just laying there, just going back and forth, man, just rolling actually on the ground, rolling back and forth because I have to go pee so bad. And I feel this presence come up, the spiritual presence again. This is the second night, and it's sitting right beside me and outside of the tent. Okay? It's right next to me on the other side of the tent, on the outside of the tent, as though it's sitting there watching over me. It didn't come inside the tent. I didn't leave the tent spiritually. I'm stuck there having to go pee. There's spiritual being is on the outside of the tent. And so I'm just like, man, I gotta go pee. And then finally, after a while, I hear this voice, Elijah, relax. It's all in your mind. Elijah, relax. It's all in your mind. And so I'm like, okay. It's like, no, it's not. I gotta go pee. And I can't pee inside the tent. You know what I mean? That's one of the rules. You can't pee inside the tent. You can't use the bathroom inside the tent. That's disrespecting your temple. Okay? You can't use the bathroom inside there. Okay? And you can't open up the tent and go to the bathroom. You just violated the rules of the fast. You know what I mean? And it's over with from that point on. All right? And so I can't open up the tent. And I'm just like, I gotta go pee. I'm about to pee on myself. It's like, and again, the voice, Elijah, relax. It's all in your head. And so then I take a deep breath and it's like, man, it's all in my head. And the sensation went away just like that. And I'm tripping, right? It's like, man, I thought I had to go pee. It's like, I was all in my head. Man, I'm just tripping on that, right? I'm like just tripping. Because now I'm sitting up and I'm like wondering, what the heck was that? Man, I was about to pee on myself because I had to go pee so bad. And it was just boom, it was just all in my head. But I literally felt like I had to go pee. I'm literally shaking and rocking back and forth because I got to go pee. I'm curled up in a fetal position because I got to go pee so bad. But it was just all in my head. As soon as I acknowledged that, the sensation, the feeling like I had to go pee disappeared. And so I'm sitting there and I'm holding the feathers and I'm like just smiling, just taking all that in. and I smell smoke. And now I'm coughing. It's like, but I'm not burning anything inside the tent. But I smell a bunch of smoke. And I got my eyes open, but it's black. It's dark outside, so I can't see anything inside the tent anyways. But I'm coughing on the smoke. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to burn up. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I'm about to burn up. I'm about to burn up. My family don't even know I'm here, and nobody knows how to get a hold of me. And I'm up here in the mountains, and something's on fire, and there's always these big fires in California, right? And man, something's on fire, and I'm getting die, and just all this. And I hear the voice again, Elijah, relax. It's all in your mind. It's like, no, it's not. I'm coughing, I'm choking, and I can't breathe, and all this other stuff. The voice again, Elijah, relax. It's all in your mind. And so I sit there and I just, it's all in my mind. It's all in my mind. And boom, the smell of smoke, the coughing, the choking, all of it went away. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, yes, man, it's all in my mind. What the heck? That's crazy. That's crazy. And so I'm sitting there, just taking it all in, just smiling, just like, yeah, just. And then the ground started shaking. California had big earthquakes, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, the ground's like just rolling, and again, fear hits me, boom. And I'm like, oh my God, the ground's, earthquake. It's like, man, when the tree's gonna fall, it's gonna hit me, and all this. I gotta get out of here. And man, I'm like fighting with trying to not open up the tent because man, there's an earthquake, you know what I mean? And man, I don't want anything falling on me, and killing me, and I'm just afraid, just fearful. And again, the voice, Elijah, relax. It's all in your mind. Relax. I'm like, okay, I exhale. Go through this process again. It's easier. Every time I get to this point, it's like, okay, it's easier for me to understand it's all in my mind. Let it go. So I'm sitting there, it's like, it's all in my mind. Let it go. Boom, the sensation went away again. And so I'm like, yeah, man, it's always all in my mind. You know what I mean? Stay with me. And so I'm tripping, right? It's like, yes, thank you. And I'm just, just singing and just praying and just like, just grateful for these life lessons. You know what I mean? And so I lay down and I go to sleep. They come in, wake me up the next morning. You good? And I'm like, I'm good. Man, I get up, go to the bathroom. And so I'm talking to JR about the events that I just witnessed the night before. And he doesn't say anything. He's just like, hmm, you know. And I go back, they leave, I'm singing and just praying and just going in, right? And the last night, and I should have known that this was going to be the hardest one. Last night, I'm laying there and I'm freezing. I got to go pee. I'm freezing, like freezing, right? And it's like my toes are numb. I've been laying on this ground, sitting on this ground for 2 days. And it's like, oh my God, my body's aching. It's just, I'm curled up in a fetal position. I'm getting cramps in my legs and the cramp in my glutes. You know what I mean? I'm just hurting. My back is aching. My arms are aching. I'm cold. I'm shivering. My fingers feel like they're frozen. My toes feel like they're frozen. And I'm just curled up in a fetal position. I'm just in agonizing pain. And I got to go pee. And on this night, I'm going through it physically really bad. And I feel this presence come. And this time, he's inside the tent, sitting next to me. And I'm like, it's all in my mind. It's all in my mind. It's all in my mind. I'm trying to tell him because this is what I went through the night before. All these different things. I smelled something. I felt the ground shaking. You know what I mean? I was coughing up. And, just all these things, right? And it's like, nope, I got to go through this, and I'm like, just tears are running down my eyes because I feel like I'm going to die because, man, I'm hurting so bad. I can't do anything about my legs cramping up. I can't do anything about my back hurting. And just my stomach is cramped up. Again, I haven't eaten anything. I haven't drank anything during this fast. You know what I mean? And so my body is shutting down. you know, and I'm just going through it, and I'm so weak now, but I'm going through it, you know what I mean? And so, um, I'm talking to my spiritual guide right there. It's like, help me, help me, help me, help me. And he's like, I can't help you, but I'm right here with you. I can't do anything for you, but I'm right here with you. And I'm like, how come I got this? Is all in my mind. It's all in my mind. How come it ain't going away? How come it ain't going away? He says, sometimes it's all in your mind. And sometimes it's real. And when it's real, you got to go through it. You have to walk through it. I'm here with you. And I'm laying there. My body's cramped up. My arms are cramped up. My fingers are cramped up. My toes are cramped up. My glutes cramped up. Everything's locked up. I haven't eaten anything, drank anything. I'm going through it, right? This is like day 7 for me with not eating anything. You know what I mean? Not drinking anything. I didn't even brush my teeth while I'm on this fast for these 3 days, nights in the tent, right? And so my body's shutting down. And I'm laying there, tears are coming down my eyes, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna die. And my spiritual guide is sitting right next to me, not doing anything to fix the problem, not doing anything to eliminate the problem. He's telling me that you gotta go through this. And I'm laying there, and the tears are just coming down. It's like, yes, it's the last night. This is the hardest test. And he's like, yes, but I'm right here with you. So I start singing to myself. I start praying and I'm singing and I'm just trying to relax. I'm freezing. I'm trying to just go through it. And I don't know how, but I made it through. You know what I mean? Obviously I made it through. The next morning they come in to get me and I could barely stand up. I got my sticks, my canes. I'm needing them to try to pull my body up. And I stand up. And it takes me a minute to be able to move my legs and to be able to walk. And I'm walking with this stick because I'm so weak. But I made it through it. It's a long video. I hope you stay for the whole thing. I brought this up. I want to share this story because it was such a pivotal moment in my spiritual growth and development. Okay, it was one of the first times that I remember um, astral traveling. You know what I mean? It was one of the first times that um, since Cecilia passed away that I was able to see her, hear her smile, or see her smile and just embrace her and just everything. You know what I mean? And it was just so informative. You know what I mean? As far as the different things that I've learned. You know, and about the battle of your mind. You know what I mean? So many of us, we get trapped in the battle of our minds, of the events that we're going through. You know what I mean? We get so stuck there. And we give up. We get so stuck in our past. We get so stuck in our pain. We get so stuck in our trauma. And man, but we have to go through it. You have to go through what you got to go through. You know what I mean? It's like you're paying a test. You're taking a test. You're proving to your ancestors, you're proving to God that, man, I want this. I value this life lesson so bad. I value these lessons so much that I'll go through what I got to go through to show you that, man, I'm willing to do this. I want the knowledge. I want the growth and development. I want to be able to ascend to another level spiritually. You know what I mean? And it's like we got to go through what we got to go through. All of our stories are different. All of our experiences are different. Some of them are the same. But they're different. They're unique to us. Your spiritual journey, your growth and development is not going to look the same as everybody else's. Stop comparing your life to everybody else's. Stop comparing your spiritual journey to everybody else's. Stop comparing your lessons to everybody else's. Appreciate their value, their lessons. Appreciate their journey. But don't minimize yours in the process. Stop selling yours short. Because you ain't have to go through this and this and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? And stop glamorizing yours and making yours out to be greater than somebody else's. Stay focused. Stay focused on why you're here. And why you're here, it's not about just the pain and suffering. Why you're here, it's not about just the things that you got to give up on, the things you got to leave behind, and all that other stuff. Those are just distractions. Don't get caught up on all of that. Don't get caught up on all of that. Stay true to you. Stay true to your journey. Stay true to your mission. Stay true to you. Can't nobody else be you. You can't be anybody else. You can't be anybody else. But you can become the greatest version of yourself. My hope and prayer is that you learn to appreciate your journey. That you learn to give thanks and have gratitude for your journey. All of it, everything that you go through, give thanks. Everything that you go through, be grateful for it because it's to teach you something. It's to help you get to the next level. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, it's all the same. It's all to help you grow and develop. All of it. For those of you that stayed and watched this long ass video, man, I appreciate you and I thank you. Stay true to you. But in order to stay true to you, you got to know who you are. You have to know who you are. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.